The British Grand Prix, my home race, and we unveil a new change. A modified, heavily modified I'd say compared to last season, home Grand Prix special livery. This is the white edition of our car. Essentially the red has been removed and we've added a lot more of my channel color blue, and also removing the Maserati blue and leaving it more for the details. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, all the liveries I'll be releasing an update with the season 2 updates, with of course an update to the season 1 mod package. But here you go, this is the final product. Let me know what you think as we jump into this weekend's action. Now we have a lot on the table. We actually have a pretty stacked episode and a lot going on. The first thing is going to be our contract renewal. Now I noticed this last episode we spent some money on driver perks and also facilities, and we've actually left ourselves a little bit shortchanged. I couldn't fully remember when the contract window was meant to be, and technically speaking the halfway point is after this race, because this is round 12. Once this is done, we would have done 12 out of 24 rounds. So I thought we'd have one more race weekend. Instead, we're out of cash. So Ricciardo can't be re-signed, therefore we have to look for something else. And the best option of the low budget drivers is BEARMAN. So we're going to try and see if we can hopefully get, basically Ferrari, who are partners of Maserati, to lend him to us. We are using a Ferrari power unit in our car, and luckily everyone seems to oblige. So we've signed BEARMAN for the rest of the season, and watch this space. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if we can try and train him up, getting to improve and potentially score a few more points. Now with that out of the way, we took a short focus on upgrades, and we're going to focus on the turbo in terms of reliability, and also we have more updates on the way.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Now, we received an engine upgrade for the ignition system, and this weekend the forecast is dry. However, the upgrade that we've brought has actually leapfrogged us to the very top of the pile, and we head into my home race as the strongest team on the grid. So things are looking up, things are looking good. We are fresh off the back of a win in Austria, and I'm not going to lie, we are cooking right now in the Drivers' Championship. The lead that we have is actually pretty significant. It's over 2 race wins over Charles Leclerc, and we're not technically at the halfway stage yet. That will be after this race has concluded. So things are looking really good. Anyway, we're going to jump into practice and get our race simulations underway. Again, running the new white livery, heavily modified compared to last season. And before we even began our race runs, we had a bit of a oopsie, and yeah, cold tires, made a slight error there. So we're going to quickly get the car straightened up, and we're going to basically get on the battery right away to try and basically make up the deficit on the Delta. And eventually we were actually able to get that lap to go good, go green, and also the other 4 laps after that. So in the end, a good run.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done. With
that out of the way, you can see here is the data. Tyre wear potentially a little bit skewed because of that spin. It might have added a bit more than what we would have had. So I'm going to call it a fair 1 times, literally equal wear rate. Fuel consumption looks excellent, and yeah, generally speaking, that pace was really consistent. Also, we got to see BEARMAN out on track for the first time in, of course, his new car, and this is him getting to grips with the 97 Maserati F1 car, and we'll see if he does any better than Jamie Chadwick or Daniel Ricciardo, his predecessors before him. Now we finished practice in the top 8 on the mediums, very encouraging signs. BEARMAN finishes 19th on the same compound, but quite a way back, 9/10 away from our pace. As we finish the session, you can see we actually picked up 720 R&D points, which is freaking insane. The driver perks are really working well, and that's the investment we made at the end of the last episode in Austria. And to be fair, we are making up for Ollie's lack of R&D points as we also pick up a bunch of discounts. And that is going to conclude practice, the driver market, showcasing our livery. Also the brand new white race suits, by the way, which look absolutely awesome. Shout out to Race King. Either way, we're going to get into qualifying.
A one-time airfield fully owned by cars in this era. One of the finest ribbons of racetrack anywhere on Earth. It's high speed, it's dramatic, it's Silverstone.
Now we get a little glimpse again there of the lovely white race suits. Now we're going to jump into qualifying, and we're currently on our first lap of the session, looking to see if we could try and hopefully get a good banker on the board and, you know, really have a solid foundation for our next runs. Currently making our way through turn 3, turn 4, trying to see if we can, you know, really hook this up. Sector 1 is my biggest weakness. Lando Norris, that's a 124.2, which gives us a bit of a reference lap time as we now hook up the S section, which, to be fair, looks fairly healthy to me. So, yeah, we'll take it. On to the end of the lap then. Let's see where our first lap of the qualifying session gets us. Over the line we go, and it's a 124.3, P3 behind Hamilton, who did a 24.1. And again, Mercedes kind of continuing that really strong form. Now we head on to a second lap. As always, we do a 2-lap run, so we had a quick cool down lap in between, and we have enough fuel to go again. We avoid the bump on the pit straight. You can see we gain quite a bit on the delta, half a tenth already just on the run to turn 3, which is in theory flat out, but there's a lot of bumps on the track. Through 3 and 4, especially through 4, we take a bit too much inside curb, and we probably lost a little bit of momentum. We did gain time, but I feel like we, you know, scrubbed off a bit too much speed and cut the corner a bit too much. Purple in sector 1 as we throw the car into Brooklands. Now, Luffield, 4th gear, stay tight and then open it up on the way out to really get the power down as soon as possible. Now heading down the old pit straight, using a good chunk of the battery, as we're now going to take a downshift and keep it flat as Russell goes quickest, 124.1 as well. So Mercedes 1-2 looking very rapid as we now head into the S's, flat out into the first 2, and then we take a downshift through the third one, and then the last one is a bit of a lift and a downshift as we open up the DRS, 10th up in the middle as we now head towards Stowe. This one, 6th or 5th gear corner. Throw the car in, depending on your setup, you might have to use 1 gear or another. We keep it in 6th, that will be 5th probably in the race. Into the last chicane, brake at the curb, little lock up on the way in, 4th gear through this one, keeping it nice and tidy, and a great exit to run up to the line, and that is going to be provisional pole with a 24.0, and we move the benchmark again, but it looks like it's going to be a fight between us and the 2 Mercedes and Lando Norris, Piastri and co a bit further back early doors. Now, where is Ollie Bearman? Let's get a bit of a check-up on him because, of course, his first qualifying, he's currently 19th, 1.2 seconds off our pace right now. So definitely, you know, work to be done considering we are in the best car. Now, onto the last run, minimum fuel. We're going to go full send and we're going to find out if we can improve on that time. Is a 23 possible? Let's find out. That was going to be a really good lap. Russell has improved into that 0.8. I can't even believe it, I'm saying that, but what a lap from George, and we were 0.3 up, but we weren't quite able to put it together, which is a shame because we were on for pole, we were on for a 0.7, and oh my days, what a lap. that was going to be. Instead, it's P2, not the worst thing in the world. Ollie Bearman finishes in 15th in the end, so he did find a bit of time and moved up the table. Either way, that is going to be it, guys, for qualifying. George Russell is your pole man. We are in a Mercedes sandwich, and we're going to see how the race pans out. So, yeah, we take a one-up on Leclerc in our driver rivalry, so that's a good stat. And then elsewhere, really, it's going to be pretty close, you know, this rivalry. We are pulling it back, but we are still 2 points down. Either way, we're going to jump into the race, and we're going to find out if we can try and win on home turf versus our fellow countrymen here at Silverstone.
We meet again at Silverstone for one of the great Formula One races of the entire calendar. With a barely believable capacity crowd creating a phenomenal atmosphere, it is time for a race that puts a smile on your face. It is time for the British Grand Prix. Silverstone Circuit is comprised of 18 corners, 3.6 miles, with DRS detection zones at Village and Maggots. Your overtaking opportunities at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights. You've got to be brave on the throttle in order to succeed here. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Martinez completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Sainz, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Bottas, Ocon, Bearman, Perez, Tsunoda, Joe, Hauger, Gasly, Teo Porcher, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. Well, it's all about forgetting last time because that was a bit of a shocker. How do they change the story today?
You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
Right, here we go. Time for my home Grand Prix. I'm excited. I think we've got a great chance of winning. The car is really strong. As you saw at the start of the video, in terms of the performance graph, we are top of the pile. So we should have the car to hopefully win today. George Russell is on pole, also a fellow countryman, and we've got another couple of them behind as well. So it's going to be the battle of the Brits, I think, in today's race, and we're going to see who takes the spoils. Now, for the strategy, it's a simple one: a soft medium, potentially a medium soft as well. The hard tyre isn't really one that you run around here, so yeah, one of the better tracks for the softer compounds. Fuel, I'm going to run 0.8. I don't really want to take much risk on fuel because we have the car, so we don't have to run it too low on the fuel. So no rain forecast, fairly straightforward. So let's get into it and let's try and hopefully bag another win. And fingers crossed, hopefully Ollie Bearman on debut gets some points. Right, here we go. Grid line up. We're going to hopefully get the car positioned perfectly. And we're going to get this one underway. We're going to point the car slightly outward because we're very compromised on the inside. We're also going to run medium to not wheel spin too much. And let's see if we can try and get that P1 ASAP. Here we go. Let's do it. Lights on. Home race, Silverstone. Good start. Bit of wheel spin, but we kind of power through it. And we're going to go through at turn 1 and go straight into the lead. Hamilton also having a poor start, getting overtaken by Norris and Alonso. Well, it was Norris and Alonso. They're really duking it out back there. If you're able to break DRS around here, that's going to be the golden ticket. So let's try and stretch the field here from the get-go and use our car, use our pace. You can see the gap already over a second to P3. We can make this a straight fight versus George early on in this race. Again, that's why we've got the soft tyres, to try and be aggressive. Look at the gap, 1.3 to Alonso. Now Hamilton going through, but they're battling. We're using a lot of battery here to try and open this up early on. Russell right now, though, looking to follow pretty reasonably. Double downshift there by accident. Not the worst thing in the world, but not exactly ideal as we head onto the hangar straight. Let's see, straight line speed test. Looks pretty decent. And it is pretty decent. We were able to hang on there without really using any battery at all. So that's a good sign in terms of our defensive capabilities. Obviously with DRS it would be a different story, but in a straight shootout we've got very good straight line speed.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Right then, we'll see how things go now with DRS. Russell still lurking, but look at the gap we have to P3. Extremely healthy margin. Hamilton, Alonso, Norris are going to be keeping themselves busy, I think, for the entirety of this race. But let's see if we can try and shake Russell off. It's not going to be easy, but we'll try and see what we can do. Right, first test of straight line speed versus DRS on the hangar straight. Russell, to be fair, is right there. And I think he'll go through. I'm not going to waste too much battery here. We'll get a chance to charge following George, so we'll let him go. But the straight line speed looks good. So when we do choose to go back through, we'll make it convincing. Russell, though, will go purple here and pick up the fastest lap of the race, of course, with that slingshot. Right. Cars behind, to be fair, not going anywhere. Hamilton 1.5. Got to make sure I make no mistakes to let him back in. Alonso through on Hamilton. The battle resumes for P3. There was a clean pass from Alonso, but they are losing a little bit of time as we start to open up a gap with George. Good pace from us on that one. We'll pass him, hopefully, this lap. Right then, pace is good. We've got a full charge, so we can look for this pass on George. We're going to set this one up all the way through the S's. Make sure we get the right exit. A little bit of understeer there as we wash out. So Russell does get a bit of a gap, but we should have enough to close in. Russell derating, so through we go down the inside. I feel like my front is just struggling a little bit. Might have to put the front wing up by 1 in the stop because of the understeer. But through we go. Now we're going to see if we can drop George Russell on this one. So big lap ahead, plenty of charge. Let's see what we can try and do. Impossible. I just cannot pull away. Russell is glued to the back of us, so we are going nowhere. Used all my battery on this lap and we've done no progress whatsoever, so looks like this race could be decided in the pit phase potentially. You can see we've opened up a gap behind, also on for a personal best here. No fastest lap, that's going to stick with George, but yeah, seems like right now nothing's going to happen. Yeah, I do tend to struggle a bit on worn tyres, so we'll see if maybe later on in the stint George runs into a bit of trouble on his rubber. Right, George will go through here. He's just able to follow so closely through the S's. Nothing I can do. So we'll wave him by and let him take the reins again for the time being. First one. Tried to take it in 8th gear through cops, but a bit too early. So we get our first track limit warning. We are actually burning through our fuel, so it's a good thing that I took 0.8. Very, very important that we did and didn't go for like the usual 0.2. Hamilton, Alonso were battling there briefly. Pit phase opening very soon. Had to get out of that. I just have a lot of understeer on the front left. Got the most wear by far. Temps also pretty high. Just wonder if, you know, we should change. I have put the wing up by 1 click for the pit stop on the front to try and get a bit more turn in, so we'll see if that helps us a little bit, but it's limiting me there because I can get close to George.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
I can get close to George, but then through...
Approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
But then through the, you know, last of the S's, we just fall back a bit and I can't quite be close to the hangar straight. So we need that little bit more wing to close up. I'm definitely not as quick as I thought, even though we've got the best car. I'm actually surprised here. I think we actually had better qualifying pace, as we should have got pole, than race pace, where I think Russell actually here is a bit quicker than me right now. I'm tempted to do box opposite of Russell here. Our scheduled pit stop lap is the next one, so I'm looking at a potential undercut. That was a good run. I think we could have a shot here. Yes, we can. Alright, let's stay out, considering we've got ahead. I think we should be able to stay ahead of George with a full charge on this in lap, so let's see.
Push now, we're boxing this lap.
We'll try and beat him into the pit lane, and then hopefully we can try and drop him on the fresh rubber with a bit of a wing adjustment. Got a bit of a gap this time, so we should be safe on the hanger straight from any Russell attacks.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance and speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
We're actually pulling away there on the straight when using our battery, but we're now going to box. Got a little bit of a margin, and Russell stays out. So this is essentially undercut to pull away and break DRS. So Hamilton's actually going to get preference here from Mercedes in that battle with Alonso and Norris, which is a big call from Mercedes. So we'll see if that works out. Either way, this is our chance now to undercut our way out of Russell's DRS. This lap is going to be critical on the out lap. We need a clear track, which we should get around here. Very slow and long pit lane, so there shouldn't be any interference. And there you go, there's the last of the traffic. So we're going to get clear track for this out lap. So this is critical now.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
A little bit slow to get the limiter off there. Pressed the wrong button, but I don't think there's any major time loss. But now we just need to really nail this. Hopefully the wing adjustment, we've gone up by 1, will help us in the S section, and we can really start to carry some more speed through there. This out lap is everything. Here we go. Oh yes, plenty of grip. To be fair, you have to factor in the fresh tyres, but that's a purple middle sector, so that's a good sign.
Ollie's in the pits. Ollie in the pits now.
So BEARMAN's in, everybody else is in, to be fair. Looks like everybody started on softs in this race, nobody started on the mediums. So this is it. Where are we relative to George Russell? We're about to find out. Use battery here to try and gain every advantage we can. There's George, pit exit. Oh, I don't know if we dropped him out of DRS range. That's going to be really close. He's out of DRS range now, but was he within at the detection point on the entry of turn 3? I've used all my batteries, so I've got nothing else to burn. We'll see if we can try and keep him out. Looks good. He hasn't really gained on that straight, but that's where the bump is, and the AI tend to go over it. If we keep him out of range for the back straight, then we're in the money here. And that was the critical call of the race. Merc trying the overcut, and it likely backfiring. I think we've got this. Yes, we do. Supreme cops there from us. Right, now let's see if we can stay out, because there's one thing to get out, but now we've got to try and stay there. Well, look at that, that's already a good sign on the Delta that we're pulling away through the S's. The wing change coming in clutch for us. Bit of a scruffy last chicane there over the curbs, to the point where we don't even go purple. Gave up a couple of tenths to Russell there, hitting the sleeping policeman. Also worth noting, Stroll's up to P3 in the Aston, so Aston have pulled a blinder, getting both of their cars into the top 5. This has been a scruffy few corners for me. Russell getting himself back in. I'm going to have to get back on the pace here. We've got battery again, so we can use that to pull away. Definitely seems I'm a little bit low on the wing. I'm quick on the straight, but I'm a little bit slow in the corners. This time we don't hit the curbs, and that was a much cleaner final chicane. We've got the gap now, and that's more like it. Right, I think we've got pace. With a clean lap anyway, we've got pace. Gap back up to 1.4. Back to back. Gap now 1.7. We're cooking. That wing adjustment has transformed our race, but I think George has just
Clear.
blown up. George has lost the car, lost the engine, and that's heartbreak for him. That's also big for the championship. Also, we've got a yellow at Stowe.
Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta.
Well, there's a curveball. That's a big curveball. First time, I want to say, all season we've had a safety car. Double DNF, Audi at Stowe, Russell at turn 2, and that has triggered the safety car. So we're going to reform, and we're going to have to do it all over again to try and break away, which hasn't been easy. I was going to say that wing change has been clutch. We've got a little bit more front end. We're still okay on the balance. We're not losing the rear, and we're able to pull away. So let's see. We're going to have to now drop a couple of Astons, Norris and Hamilton. Right, safety car off. Restart time. Trying to get some tyre temp. Rear's a little bit cold, which I kind of need those for traction. Just trying to burn them out a little bit. We've got just about enough temp to make a decent restart push, I'd say. So here we go. I'm going to try and time this. I've got my brake bias moved back to try and be aggressive and push. Right, here we go. Not ideal hitting the bump. Back underway. Tyres are cold. We've got a decent gap here over Stroll already. Let's see if we can try and make use of that. That was a very good restart. Through turn 3 and turn 4. Gap over a second. Look at that. Really good restart. We've still got plenty of battery left, so I think we should be okay. DRS enabled next time around. Purple first. Exactly what we had to do. And that's actually my weakest sector probably of the lap. Look at the gap, 1.5. We're going. And they're not even battling. That wing adjustment has transformed our race pace. Right, we're in the clear. Now they likely, I'll say, will battle on the hanger straight down to Stowe. Yeah, that was great. Look at the difference. We'll use up the rest of our battery here. So really establish a gap. I was right on the money. Lovely. Right. Over the sleeping policeman. Not exactly ideal, but we are going to go a little bit quicker than our personal best.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
It's not a fastest lap. That goes to Stroll, who's still keeping his, but we've crucially got the gap. So now we manage. Right, I'm going to see if I can eke out a fastest lap attempt. We're going to use all of our battery here on a single time trial lap to see if I can squeeze some more pace out and get the extra point. Stroll 26.6. That was the best I've taken it all race. 2 purple sectors. Just about 2 tenths up I can see on the dash. A good last chicane will get us over the line here. Avoid the sausage curbs. And there we go. That's all I've got. Unless someone beats that with DRS, we should be getting the point. Let's bring this home. Silly warning. That's 2 now. Gotta be careful. I was very careless. Let's bring this home. Here we go. Last lap. Last sector. There's going to be drama behind between the 2 Astons and Lando Norris. We'll see who comes out on top in that one, but we're going to bring home the win. Absolute masterclass here. We also, did it on merit. We actually dropped Russell out of our DRS before his engine blew up. Stroll drops out the podium. Norris, Alonso, P2, P3, but we win on home turf.
Come on! Now we can fight. That's a race win and your 2nd race win in a row. Fantastic job.
Plenty of action then here in Silverstone, a memorable race and an impressive victory.
And it's always good to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Well, there we go. Icing on the cake. We do it in front of the home crowd with the all-white kit, which looks beautiful. And yeah, I cannot think of a better way to sign off at Silverstone. Here is your final classified results. Lando Fernando on the podium with us, Stroll P4, so good day for Aston Martin. Hamilton P5 and then Leclerc P6. Hulkenberg up in P7 in the V-Carb, well in the points, ahead of Verstappen. Albon Piastri round out the points with Sainz missing out, also Perez. Bearman finishes P13 on debut, not too bad from him to be fair. And then further down, confirmation of Russell and Zhou retiring in the Merc and the Audi respectively. So in the standings, we have a 72-point lead at the halfway stage officially of the season. Essentially 3 race wins ahead of Charles Leclerc. Hamilton, 3rd. Russell with a DNF drops to 5th. And yeah, generally, it's pretty compact, you know, from Piastri up to Hamilton. It's sort of play for really for P3, but generally for us, it's been a great day in the office and we keep moving. In the constructors, we're 3rd. We overtake Ferrari, 26 off the top, and we'll try and spend some money, invest it into Bearman to try and get him quicker, sharper, faster, and hopefully gets a couple of points. And by the end, we potentially could fight for a constructor's crown. Anyway, guys, as always, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. On screen, you're going to have all the post-race fallout from that one, including, of course, Ollie's debut with the team. So we'll see how that affects things. But I do believe we've hit most of our goals, which is an encouraging first step. And we should have hit all of our sponsor payouts and everything. So a good weekend, considering we lost Ricciardo, which is a shame, but it is what it is. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to leave everything else on screen. So the previous 2 videos or 2 other videos you want to check out, they're on screen now. Also, a massive shout out to my channel members, as always, for supporting all the content that I create. And yeah, we go to the next one with a good lead. So guys, see you soon, take care, and that's goodbye from me. Ciao.